KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Thanks for making KRTV part of your Thursday night. I'm Shannon Newth. We'll have more on coronavirus in Montana in a moment. But first tonight, the latest in the case of Amy Harding Perman. Law enforcement confirms her body was found and recovered last night along the Missouri River. She first went missing back in January, last seen near a home along Flood Road. Her body was found south of Great Falls in the Big Bend area, not far from where she was last seen. MTN's Lindsay Hyatt has more on the weeks of searching and what comes next in the case from an afternoon press conference.
After 10 weeks and nearly 200 searchers spent looking, the case of Great Falls' own Amy Harding comes to a tragic end. On the night of January 26th, Cascade County Sheriff's Office responded to a disturbance call at the residence of Amy Harding Perman. Before she went missing more than 2 months ago, Harding was last seen walking from her house around 8:30 p.m. That night, deputies searched Buckshot Island, a region near her home, where they found personal items that led them to believe she was nearby.
This is where we found some items. We found a name tag. We found a coffee card.
Deputies also found a hole in the ice the next day that led them to focus their search efforts on the river. Sheriff Slaughter said they didn't disclose this to the public due to the nature of the case.
We treat all these cases as if they're criminal from the beginning. If we publicly release that we found a hole in the ice, if we're interviewing people and let's say that there was foul play involved, they're immediately going to point to the hole in the ice as the reason that she went missing. So I'm absolutely not going to release that for strategic reasons in our investigation.
Now that Harding's body has been found and her family has been notified, Sheriff Slaughter encourages the community to take the final step in the case.
I think now we need to pray for Amy's family, and her friends and her loved ones in this community, because quite honestly, a lot of people in this community mourned over this situation. So I think right now that's the appropriate thing, is that people grieve and go through their appropriate processes.
Sheriff Slaughter said the case is not considered criminal and the investigation is now closed.
And that was Lindsay Hyatt reporting. Harding's family in Nevada sent us a statement tonight expressing their gratitude for the work of law enforcement and all of those who helped search. They ask for privacy during this time and extend their sympathies to Amy's children and extended family. The Hardings say an obituary and service arrangement will be announced in the next few days. We turn now to the latest on coronavirus in Montana. As of this morning, there have been 354 confirmed cases in Montana, with 6 deaths. 157 people have recovered. 34 have been hospitalized. Cascade County has 12 confirmed cases. The latest reported Wednesday evening is a man in his 30s. The Cascade City County Health Department reports he's in isolation, and the health department is looking into who he may have been in contact with and how he may have gotten the virus. Of the 12 cases in the county, 7 have recovered. Governor Steve Bullock says more COVID-19 testing will be available for Montanans. He's asking people to not focus excessively on models of virus spread. At a press conference today, state officials stressed models aren't predictions of the future, but rather tools for health professionals to use to fight the virus. Bullock says the state now has enough tests so healthcare providers can order testing for anyone showing signs of COVID-19. Tests were previously limited to hospitalizations, people who travel outside the state, people with direct contact with a confirmed case, and healthcare workers. Bullock stressed the importance of continuing to follow guidelines like social distancing. If anyone is experiencing symptoms, they should reach out to their medical provider.
The more testing that we can receive, even if it ends up increasing the numbers, the better we have our hands around the impact of this virus, and also the potential that this virus is being spread by community acquisition.
And stressing the importance of finding joy, Bullock deemed the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, and other magical creatures as essential workers. Well, a nonprofit organization is gathering information about families and their needs during this pandemic. 0 to 5 Montana is dedicated to giving children a promising future. This survey will give the organization an idea of what families need. They'll give the results to other nonprofit organizations in the state. The survey was released last week. They've already gathered about 1,000 responses.
Parents are finding themselves in situations that they're not used to, or are looking for resources and information that maybe they didn't need a month ago. And so the purpose of this survey is to have a better understanding of what those types of services and needs are, so that we can better connect those types of programs to parents in local communities.
0 to 5 Montana will be collecting data for this survey until tomorrow. The survey will be open until the end of April for future data collections. While the COVID-19 pandemic is straining some medical providers, its social restrictions have also made it difficult for regular patients to see physicians in person. As MTN's Mike Dennison reports, that means that telemedicine is getting a big boost in Montana.
At Bozeman Health, before the COVID-19 outbreak, patients could visit their doctors virtually through telemedicine, but it wasn't being used very often. Now, says Dr. Mike Spinelli, that's changed in a big way.
Over the course of the last 4 to 6 weeks, the amount of telehealth that we've been doing has increased dramatically. So I think almost everybody that is at Bozeman Health right now in family practice or internal medicine is trying to get up and running on one telehealth platform or another.
Spinelli has been using Zoom, a video conferencing program that allows patients and doctors to see and talk to each other. And in Helena, St. Peter's Health and insurer Blue Cross and Blue Shield have taken it a step further with something called TytoCare. TytoCare allows virtual communication between doctor and patient, but it also has a device the physician can use to observe vital signs of the patient, like heart rate or breathing. The hospital and insurer had planned a TytoCare pilot project using the device on Blue Cross employees at their office. But with the advent of COVID-19, they've gone live with the program, distributing 200 devices to Helena area nursing homes, assisted living centers, and various patients. Todd Wampler, the chief of staff at St. Peter's Health, says through last week, they've done 1,400 virtual patient visits with TytoCare. Blue Cross officials say they've also earmarked $100,000 to help other hospitals or clinics buy similar telemedicine technology. Spinelli says physicians still want to see patients face-to-face when they can, but that telemedicine is becoming a new normal for many visits.
And if there's things that come up where a physical exam is necessary, or there's something where I really need to get them in for a face-to-face appointment, then I can just drive in and meet them at the office. But the majority of people now that I'm seeing are via telehealth.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Well, today may have been beautiful, but our Storm Tracker weather team is tracking some cooler weather and snow soon. Brandon Michaels joins us now. Brandon, winter weather is back in the forecast.
Yeah, we've got a winter storm that's headed our way just in time for the holiday weekend. We're already seeing some watches, warnings, and advisories issued ahead of that storm. So we do have a winter storm warning in effect. That's that area shaded in dark purple. That does include Great Falls. That's where we're expecting the most significant impacts. We've also got the winter weather advisory shaded in blue, expecting some impacts there as well. In general, though, moderate snow impacts, some spots with some heavier snow. Also looking at the potential for some ice as wet roads freeze over when colder air moves in. And that all comes together for some pretty significant travel impacts, though hopefully not too much travel going on this weekend. And that's a huge change from where we were at today. 64 degrees was our high temperature in Great Falls today. We're really going to be seeing that temperature dropping fairly soon, but not immediately. It's 47 right now. It's very comfortable for this time of night. We got that south wind at 7 miles per hour. Perfectly clear skies on the U.S. Bank ICAM. If we were to check in about this time tomorrow, we're going to see something very, very different. And of course, we're going to have a lot more on the winter storm heading our way coming up later in the show.
All right, thanks, Brandon. The proposed Black Butte copper mine north of White Sulphur Springs achieved a major milestone on Thursday. That could mean initial construction starting this year. But opponents of the mine and the Smith River drainage say they may challenge the permit approval in court. The State Department of Environmental Quality issued its record of decision for the mine, essentially approving Black Butte's operating permit with required environmental protections. The mine would be underground with a 5,000-foot tunnel leading to the ore body. Jerry Zieg, Vice President of Exploration for the mining firm, says the 3-year construction of the mine could start as early as this summer. He says Sandfire Resources is taking many steps to protect water quality in the Smith River drainage. But Durf Johnson of the Montana Environmental Information Center says the mine threatens the iconic Smith River and that the state didn't properly analyze its impacts. He notes that Sandfire has acquired additional acreage nearby and ultimately wants to expand the project over many years.
The DEQ completely failed to look at that cumulative analysis and the potential for mine expansions to occur. It's going to impact several more tributaries and the Smith River if, in fact, Sandfire is able to pursue its vision for this 50-year mining district.
The approach we're taking with this development is charting a new course for mine development in our industry. Truly it is, in terms of the measures we take and the distance we'll go to protect water resources.
Johnson says his group will consider whether to take DEQ to court over whether its analysis followed state law. The mine, once operating, would employ about 240 people. Coming up, the governor's stay-at-home directive means it's a good time as any to crack open a virtual brew. The Big Sky Country Beer Tour is one of the many ways to pass the time from the comfort of your couch.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. As everyone stays home, photographers across the country are inviting people to step out, smile, and give back to their communities. MTN's Tom Wiley explains.
When history books look back on this period of time, it's hard to guess what words they'll use, but if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then local photographer Bridget Pence could fill libraries. Many people around the country are participating in what is called the Front Steps Project. And Pence jumped at the opportunity to take part and help her community, and the response was huge.
The whole kind of concept behind the Front Steps Project is photographers going kind of door to door within a safe social distance, taking photos of families outside and kind of capturing this moment where we're all pretty isolated, but through that imagery, just being able to bring us a little closer together.
But Pence took it a step further. She partnered with Benefis Health System and asked families to donate to a local charity in exchange for a photo session.
They wanted to show support for the community, and I just loved the idea and wanted to jump on board. So the silver lining, I feel like, through this whole thing is we're all getting to be, I guess, kind of reconnect with those that were around on a daily basis. And people had fun with it. They were dressing up. They were wearing pajamas.
But photography is just one of her jobs. Pence also works as a full-time counselor at Great Falls High and thought of a way to combine both of her professions and create a new photo project, Bison Together, Apart.
And thought it'd be fun to spread that message to our students and our Bison family. We're all missing our kids and missing our staff and our faculty, and so we just got to go around to each of our staff and faculty's homes and capture them with messages to our students. So it was a cool thing.
The photos spread quickly on social media and hit home for many students and staff who are missing their extended family. And the message was loud and clear: the Bison are in this together.
I would just say, we hope they know that we're missing them and we care about them, and we hope that they're staying safe and healthy and continue to do so until we get to see them again, which hopefully is sooner than later.
For a full gallery of the Front Steps Project photos that Pence took, visit the Benefis Facebook page or go to our website, krtv.com. Reporting from home, Tom Wiley, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Tom. Well, amid these tough times, businesses closing and employees being laid off, a new restaurant opens downtown, bringing hope for some. It's called Harvest Craft Kitchen, located on the former Tap House Grill. They have just takeout right now, offering everything from burgers to sandwiches and salads. Owner Matthew Black says they'll have dine-in options once everything returns to normal, and they'll change out their menu every few months. There are more than 90 breweries across the Treasure State, and there's no doubt Montana has a rich beer history. MTN's Sam Hoyle explains how you can learn more about that history from the comfort of your couch.
Good Beer Here. That's the name of the Montana Historical Society's exhibit that showcases Montana's brewing history that spans 3 centuries. And though COVID-19 has closed down the Historical Society's location in Helena, people who are interested in learning about Montana's rich brewing history can learn more on their website. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But one of the things that I learned when chatting with Eve Byron, Public Information Officer for the Montana Historical Society, she said that breweries did not just hop up out of barley fields. They were imported.
Historically, we've been able to trace them back to the early mining days prior to Montana becoming a state, back when it was just a territory. And you would have the folks coming over from Europe, and they would come to the mining camps.
The Historical Society has a comprehensive map on their website of the history of breweries that span from Libby to Baker and everywhere in between, dating back to the late 1800s. Byron says even though they've checked the barrels through and through while compiling this exhibit, there still might be a pint hiding somewhere.
That's the known unknown, some of those things that you don't know what you don't know. So there could be all sorts of great stories that we haven't been able to tap into yet, so to speak.
And for those who want to see some of the artifacts of Montana's beer history, they won't prohibit you from seeing them up close and personal when COVID-19 is a thing of the past.
We have a lot of items in our collection that are historic items, right down to the Mint Bar in Great Falls where Charlie Russell used to like to go in. We have the swinging bar doors as part of our exhibit.
In Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
Well, we're going to be making the switch from spring weather back to winter weather very soon. I'll have all the details after the break.
Thanks. Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
Well, of course, we've got that winter storm on the way, but we're going to start with a nice picture of the sunrise this morning from Linda. Gorgeous shot there. Nice color in the sky. This is, I believe, in Great Falls. So thanks for sending that one in. It was a really great day today. Still pretty nice tonight. There's a little bit of cloud cover mainly in eastern Montana tonight, but in general, that's clearing out. You can see that's pushing to the south and east, going to leave us with clear skies and a calm night tonight. And we could definitely use a calm night because we've got a lot more activity in the forecast. 2 a.m. here. Really nothing going on. Most of us are going to stay fairly calm through the night tonight and fairly cloud-free. But up on the high line and near the international border, we are going to start to see some clouds increasing by tomorrow morning. Already fairly cloudy in spots. And by 8 a.m., I think we're already seeing that cold front in extreme northern Montana. Definitely some showers with that, too. That's going to push down through the afternoon. For Great Falls, I think probably early afternoon is when we're going to see that cold air really starting to push into town. Behind that, we've got the scattered rain showers. So we do expect rain in the afternoon and early evening hours, but I think pretty quickly that's going to turn over to some snow. A lot of times the models aren't quick enough to bring in the colder air. So I think by 9 p.m. we're probably going to see a little bit more snow than rain out there, and definitely by midnight more snow than rain. And then we're actually going to continue to see the snow though through the forecast. And another issue too, as with rain on the roads and some melted snow on the roads and then colder air moving in, could see some icy spots already by Saturday morning, and then that snow accumulating on top of the ice as we head through the day on Saturday. So makes for a really poor travel conditions. Hopefully not a lot of travel going on, even though it is the holiday weekend. But if you do have to travel, it's going to be pretty rough. We got some pretty impressive snow totals headed our way, too. You can see some of the darker spots, like toward the Little Belt Mountains, some heavier snow, but places like Lewistown, Geyser, 6 inches plus. 4 to 7 is what I'm going with for Great Falls. Up toward Cutbank, some heavier snow, 3 to 6. Cutbank and Fort Benton are kind of right on the border of the heavier snow. Definitely as you get west of Cutbank along the Rocky Mountain front, you guys are going to see some heavier snow as well. And then less snow to the northeast. Places like Scobie, you might not see anything more than a couple of snowflakes. Glasgow, probably not much in the way of accumulation. So northeast Montana getting off pretty easy, while the rest of us are going to be seeing some heavier snow. And of course, it's not just the snow that are going to be the impacts here. We're going to be tracking some strong winds for one thing, blowing and drifting snow, not so much Friday, but as we head Friday night and into Saturday morning, you can see those wind gusts, 20, 30, even as high as 35 or 40 miles per hour. So blowing and drifting snow, definitely an issue, making those travel conditions even worse than if it was just the snow. And of course, temperatures behind that front are really going to be falling. We're not going to see that tonight because we're not behind the front. 34 for Hayes, 30 in Harlem, 35 Great Falls, 35 in Fort Benton. These are our overnight lows. For a lot of spots, that's going to be pretty similar to their highs by Saturday. 30 overnight tonight in Glasgow. Through the day tomorrow, temperatures are increasing to start the day. It's not too bad of a start to our day. but pretty quickly falling behind as that front moves in. Tomorrow's high temperatures mainly 40s and 50s. Cooler temperatures expected off to the north, only 46 in Malta, 48 in Glasgow, and then again much cooler behind the front on Saturday, 34 for Malta, 30 in Scobie, and only 30 in Great Falls. And I think that's probably going to be even pretty early in the day. So again, rain turning to snow late in the day tomorrow. Heavy snow expected with some wind and cold throughout day Saturday, a white Easter and a cold Easter with a high of 30 degrees. We do slowly get better through the forecast. Still below average though by Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the upper 40s. Shannon?
Thanks, Brandon. The Montana High School Association isn't giving up on a spring season yet, but the window of opportunity is closing. That story when we come back.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Thanks for staying with us. The Montana High School Association isn't ready to give up on the spring sports season just yet. MTN's Richie Melby caught up with the MHSA after their latest postponement today.
A glimmer of hope remains after the Montana High School Association Executive Board met via conference call on Thursday. Spring sports postponed 2 more weeks, falling in line with Governor Bullock's April 24th. However, the MHSA now has a hard deadline if school isn't resumed in person by May 4th.
If we're not in school May 4th, spring activities are canceled.
It's that simple. If in-school education isn't resumed, spring activities, golf, tennis, softball, track, and music won't resume either. Postponing their seasons into late May or even June is also off the table. Complete cancellation was discussed, but not a decision the board was prepared to make.
Our board looked at that, but they were saying, let's keep some hope out there and see what happens. Who knows what'll happen in Montana? So let's just keep it going until we can get to that date where we're not going to be able to have a format that would be feasible.
Should school and sports resume, the MHSA Executive Board is already prepared to adjust as necessary.
What will the guidelines be at the time? Will we be able to take a bus with 40 on a bus? Or are they going to be able to have to split and take 2 buses? Will we be able to even have fans?
Additional changes could include practicing on Sundays or even twice per day, canceling district track meets entirely, and even moving the state golf and tennis meets to a later date, though they wouldn't be later than the current final weekend of May 23rd.
Kids are struggling right now. They're struggling with the online learning, and they're struggling with trying to deal with something that's never happened to any of us. If things do change, they do have that hope. It's not all the rug isn't pulled out from under them.
The hope remains, but that hard deadline of May 4th certainly brings finality. Richie Melby, MTN Sports.
And we'll have a final look at some big changes in your forecast right after this.
Welcome back. We got the winter storm on the way. Friday night through Saturday is when we're expecting most of the snow to fall, and it's going to be quite a bit for some of us. Still going 4 to 7 for Great Falls, 6 to 10 for Lewistown. A little bit less on the high line in northeastern Montana. The high line, for the most part, under a winter weather advisory where we do have the heavier snow expected. We do have a winter storm warning in effect. Of course, wind, cold, the whole classic winter storm deal.
Yeah, well, we knew it was coming. April tends to have one of those. A lot of times we end up with not great weather for Easter.
Yes, so white Easter this is definitely not going to be the first.
Yeah, not that surprising, but still, after today,
it's hard to
at least
say.
we got today. Yeah, all right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.